quite a few of you have suggested that I go see Shark Night 3D, which looks like a terrible movie. I mean, come on, 3D is in the title. It's clearly a ridiculous shark movie. It's playing in theaters right now, and... Alright, fine, I'll go see it. Come on, Nina, let's go!
Shark Night 3D is supposed to be directed by the same guy who did Snakes on a Plane. Now, I haven't seen Snakes on a Plane, but I'm sure that means they'll be ridiculous. And yes, I am watching this in a mall. Don't judge me.
Just got out of the movie. Donal Logue was in it. I would say that sums up the film. Okay, so Shark Night 3D knows exactly what type of movie it is. In fact, the opening shot is pretty much an ass shot. And not the only one in the movie. This shark movie is a big, dumb, fun film. It doesn't really pretend to be anything else. The entire cast is basically a bunch of really hot people, which makes sense for what kind of movie this is. They're just there to die, really, and they're not all that bland, they're not all that boring, they're not all that annoying, but, I mean, you know what they are. There's never a doubt that they're just the meat to be killed. What's funny to me is that the dork character, the main character, who's sort of presented as kind of like a intelligent book study, must graduate college and go on to do whatever and be a doctor, even he's really attractive. He's really just a ripped guy with some glasses at the beginning, and that's about it. This is a hot Hollywood movie. The sharks are pretty much all CGI. But where this movie works is that it's just fun. And it also answers some basic questions about why this should be happening. It doesn't get too in-depth, but it answers the basic ones right away. Number one, gee, there's sharks going on. Aren't we on land? What's going on? It's a saltwater lake. Okay, fine, fair enough. Number two, why can't I just use my cell phone? Oh, I did. There's no reception. Keep trying. Okay, I will keep trying. It's still not going to work. Fair enough. Number three, how do you keep getting the characters into the water? Well, we're going to have one who's injured, and they keep trying to get him over to a safe hospital place, which keeps getting people to try to cross the water. Fair enough. And we're going to have jackass villains. That's why everybody gets in the water, and that's why they're going to die. So it works. What I thought was really cool is they don't just have one shark, or even one species of shark. Going into it, I assumed it was a bull shark that was going to be attacking everyone. That's kind of what I was told. But in fact, the villains kind of use multiple different species. We've got things like the bull shark, a hammerhead, cookie cutter sharks, of all things. Cookie cutter sharks, which is actually one of my favorite scenes in the film. And then you got your great whites and your tiger sharks and all that. So I thought it was fun that they had multiple species of sharks. In fact, I thought it was fun that the villains were essentially shark nerds. That was kind of an interesting twist. Donal Logue plays a police officer who, spoiler alert, also ends up being one of the bad guys. I think if you watch this film and don't expect him to be the bad guy, you haven't seen enough of these movies. The only big thing that bugged me, actually there were two big things that bugged me. First, it was one of the motivations for the lead villain, and second was just a blatant mistake when it came to the species of shark they were using. So Donal Logue is basically sort of torturing the main character and threatening him and talking about what's going. He's basically spieling to him about what the plan was and how he's going to kill him now. He's talking about all these tiger sharks. He says a tiger shark or Requiem. I don't know if the Requiem is right. I would have to look that up myself. But he talks about how the tiger shark eats all sorts of crazy things and all that. He dunks the main character in the water so that he gets a close-up glimpse of what shark it is. And it's a sand tiger. Like, it's blatantly a sand tiger. It's got the slope of the snout. It's got the pointed teeth. It is blatantly a sand tiger. It's like they were doing so good for so long about all these different sharks and basically they were making me buy that they knew what they were talking about, and then they mistook a tiger for a sand tiger. It's like, that's just you almost had it perfect, movie. But the second part that really bugs me, because I know a little bit about what they're talking about, is they've got this villain who's basically like a big scuba guy. He's a big water dude. He's the marine guy. Lives on a boat, works on a boat, does all sorts of things. Big shark guy. And the main female character, him and her had a thing way back, but there was this incident that she talks about earlier where she was on a dive, scuba dive with him, and her air went out. And she gave the sign and she begged him to give her extra octopus hose so that she could breathe the air out of his tank and get to the surface and be fine. And he refused her and then like pushed her away. So basically he was going to let her die, I guess. I mean, this is after they said they were going to break up and all that, so that's kind of a douchey thing to do. And he reveals later, he's like, maybe your oxygen wasn't out, and it's insinuated that she was just freaking out because she didn't know what she was doing. I mean, still, like, I'm sitting there going, no, movie, no, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't relieve him of any guilt or it doesn't take it away how evil he is. If someone's freaking out, it doesn't matter if their gauge is full. You gotta give them the oxygen, because you don't fucking know if they're dying or out of breath or anything. You just give them the spare tank or the spare hose and go up there and make sure everything's okay. I was like, that is just, I don't know if writers didn't know what they were talking about. They just wanted to show that he was a horrible, horrible person, because he totally is. But there was just one little thing that bugged me. I mean, there's a lot of, what is that term you call it again? Jump scare! Ah! That's right, jump scare. There's a lot of jump scares in this movie, but they're just kind of fun. The various deaths that the main characters have are, you see them coming, you know they're going to jump out there, but it's still pretty enjoyable. So, overall, I think this is the first ridiculous shark movie I've ever seen in theaters, and it was definitely a fun time. So, I might even recommend you go see it if you enjoy those ridiculous shark movies. So, have fun. Go check it out. Oh, and one more thing.